Hi, I'm Matthew Stebbins with the Space Coast Elite Homes team, and I wanted to give a market update on what's happening in Brevard County right now because everybody wants to know and stay on the ball with that. So I figured let's get into it. Now, this information got a little bit delayed just because of waiting on the market information. So this actually comes from the February market, but now that we just hit April, it's a little bit delayed. A new one should come out in the next 15, 20 days or so. But closed sales went down about 3.2% from a year ago, and that's not out of the ordinary. The rates are coming down and a lot of people are waiting. So that is very interesting because compared to a lot of other areas, we are doing very good. And keep in mind that real estate is granular. Brevard County has actually done really well. The market right immediately after January was going very fast. Everything was going amazing. And it's been doing this up, down, up, down, up, down thing for the last couple of years anyways. But surprisingly enough, a lot of people are still on the fence waiting to move. And so therefore January was crazy because it was after that November, December, Thanksgiving, Christmas timeframe, and it just went crazy. So, but the rates are still high, which everyone expected to come down a little bit more. And as of today, they're about 6.62%, which is pretty good overall. So that is some good things to keep in mind. And the rates are steadily dropping, and there are still a lot of people on the fence. So, new pending sales were down 9.4% in February. That's not a surprise. New listings were down 5.6% compared to a year ago. The month's supply of homes is up 22.9% from a year ago. And the median sales price actually went up 0.8%. So, in a lot of areas in Orlando, which sometimes they try to put us with the Orlando area, but we're actually a different area. We're the Space Coast, and our housing market tends to be a little bit different. So the actual prices, the listing prices went up 0.8%. There is a majority of the homes in the county that went up 5% total last year in value. So keep in mind that. Traditional sales were down 3.4%. The reason for that being is a lot of times you can get a government loan cheaper than a conventional loan. So 74% of the loans that went in the last couple months have been government loans. Foreclosures and REOs are at 0%, not surprised, no change. Short sales, there's one short sale that closed in the entire county. So we are actually doing very, very good compared to different areas. Overall, the residential market did pretty good. So comparatively, so let me talk to you about townhomes and condos because that is a totally different story ever since the state of Florida came up with the new rules that any condos that are 4 stories or more required reserves and required extra money for repairs and inspections. So the condo market has been flipped upside down basically. So that tends to be a different story. When it comes to condos, the closed sales were down 8.6%. New pending sales were down 24.2%. Also keep in mind that Brevard County is a secondary market, which means a lot of people buy secondary homes here. And so if the rates are super high, which they are for secondary homes, they're usually 1% higher than everybody. The normal rates, you're looking at like a 7.62%, and that's the amazing rate right now. That's the difference on that. Supply and inventory from a year ago is up 48.2%. So that's substantially high because a lot of the HOAs and condo associations had to raise their rates. One, because of insurance costs, and two, because, with the values, and two, because they needed to up the reserves even more. So they've been steadily increasing. So, believe it or not, there was only 2 closed sales that were REO or foreclosure sales and no short sales for condos. So that's huge. So a couple things to take away from this. Fewer homes have been sold in Brevard County overall. It was a drop of 3.2%. Not a huge amount, but understanding that a lot of people are anticipating the rates dropping in the next quite a few months. So that is understandable. I'd be waiting too, because it could be anywhere from a car payment difference for what you're paying for your mortgage. But if you have to move, you have to move. But a lot of people are still waiting on the fence. There's been a little bit lower buyer activity because of that. The prices seem to be holding steady. Now, there's one thing that somebody asked me the other day. They said, Matt, are the house prices dropping? It's not really the case. The median price, sale price has been dropping. You will see that because the higher interest rates cause people who were able to, say, afford a $400,000 home can now only afford a $300,000 home because of the rates going up. So there's going to be more homes sold in that lower amount, but it doesn't mean that the values have dropped. There is more available than it has been in the last couple of years. We're back up to what it was in 2019 for inventory levels, but we are still low compared to what it would be. So a normal market here in Brevard County would be 6,000 single family homes on the market. Right now we're at 3,892, I think was the number this morning. So just for perspective for that. And then we are pretty lucky in this area. Our amount of distressed homes have remained extremely low for those kind of sales. So that's a good showing that there's a great market here. Do remember we are heavily based with the space and defense industry here. So that is a big pull for this area. So just things to think about. Anyways, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you can text me, call me, email me anytime. I'm Matthew Stebbins with the Space Coast Elite Homes team. My number is 321-482-3585, and I look forward to speaking with you. Have a great day.